Integrating therapy-based or mobility training with traditional Pilates exercises can be helpful to improve stability, mobility, alignment, and precision with those exercises. I find it very helpful for isolating a movement, a group of muscles going to be employed, or just to mobilize a joint. Doing this not only helps the execution of Pilates exercises, but also teaches the muscles, connective tissues, and nervous system to communicate and control ranges of movement, not only improving in Pilates, but the body's function overall. So today's Wunda chair exercises for shoulder girdle, mobility and stability with full body integration will be preceded by axial rotation of the shoulder joint. This exercise specifically targets the rotation of the arm inside the shoulder joint for basic mobilization and an understanding of the function of the movers and stabilizers of the shoulder joint for activities of daily living. In this exercise, the scapula should not move. Keeping the spine and pelvis in neutral and without moving hips or shoulders, you're going to rotate the elbow to face the other elbow, keeping the arm straight and the fist down. Rotate both directions, so you'll be going in internal rotation, going as far as you possibly can without the shoulder blade moving, and then in reverse, going into external rotation. Use an inhale for one direction and an exhale for the other. I like to inhale as I externally rotate my arm, thinking of my clavicle and my ribcage expanding out, and then exhale, trying to keep that expansion across my chest as the arm rotates in. Remember, the idea is to keep everything still and just to have the arm rotating inside the shoulder joint. Finish with the arm in neutral, which means that the elbow should be facing away from the other one. Place the elbow and hand of the arm that was on the base on the paddles of the Wunda chair. Elbow should be in line with the shoulder, hand directly in front of the elbow, palm down. Shoulders are open and the spine, of course, is still in neutral. On an exhale, press the elbow into the paddle towards the floor only as far as the shoulder joint does not collapse down. Inhale as the elbow opens back up and really allow the shoulder blade to glide along the rib cage. Exhale, press the elbow down, shoulder joint stays lifted towards the ceiling, spine should not be altered. Inhale as the elbow comes up and allow the shoulder blade to glide again. Every time your arm comes up, open that chest, let the shoulder blade glide down and out, and exhale, think of lifting the spine and the chest as you press the elbow down. If you're able to extend the opposite leg, the leg furthest away from the chair, without affecting the spine, go ahead and do so with the toes pointed forward and the heel straight up. Continue with the lat press. By extending the leg, there should be a minimal shift in the hips so that the hip closest to the chair is not leaning out and there is not a drop in the thoracic spine or rib cage. Exhale as you continue to press. Think of lifting that lifted leg inner thigh up towards the ceiling, reaching through the heel, and inhale as the elbow comes up. Think about the cues for the backside of the body as the elbow presses down, and the cues for the front of the body as the elbow lifts up. Place the foot furthest away from the Wunda chair on the glider, directly under the knee, knee in line with the hip, and hip stacked over the bottom knee. Having one foot forward requires core control and glute strength to keep the hips level. So if you feel that you're unstable in this position, bring both knees under the hips so that you're in a kneeling upright position. On an inhale, side bend towards the paddles, pressing the paddle towards the floor without releasing the ribs forward or hinging forward at the hips. On an exhale, resist the paddle as you bring the shoulders back to their upright position. You may want to continue this side bend exercise until you're ready to integrate a transition into a hamstring stretch between each side bend. To integrate that hamstring stretch, on an inhale, you're going to extend the glider foot forward, toes flexed towards the ceiling, reach the chest towards the ankle. Exhale, curl the spine, stacking the hips, back over the knee, shoulders over hips. Remember integrating the forward flexion between the side bends requires great awareness of the spine and core control. Be sure that the hips, ribcage, and shoulders stack back over the knees before the next side bend so that your ribs are not in excessive thoracic extension left over from bending over in your forward flexion. Now if you're going to go for those splits and you can't get all the way down, a couple of yoga blocks on the outside would be really helpful here. Otherwise, go to where your hips are still as much as possible square to the front, so both front of the hips facing forward, and do a few lat presses in your split position. Use your breath to extend the torso away from the hips and drop the hips towards the floor and reach the back hip forward and the front hip back. And then go ahead and reach those hips down. And that concludes this Wunda chair segment. Be sure to do this all to the other side and come back and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.